Thanks for listening and subscribing to the Clive Barker Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to the imagination of Clive Barker. In this episode, 239, Jose and I are joined by Joe Manco of Little Spark Films. We get an update on their short film adaptation of Paul Kane's The Torturer, and you can find out how you can help out with the production and become a part of it. And we go over a new Clive Barker signing appearance and a double bill screening of Hellraiser and Candyman. This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination shop is dedicated to benefiting the Arts and Medicine program at Texas Children's Cancer Center. Up to 50% of the proceeds will support the program where artist Don Bertram volunteers monthly. There's a new news feature video that shows Don working with the kids at Texas Children's Cancer Center and his artwork. Click on the side banner at www.clivebarkercast.com to find links to videos and his Etsy shop where you can buy his prints, books, and support this wonderful program. Okay, welcome. This is episode 239 of the Clive Barker Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm Joe, and we got some special guests today. Joe and Catalina of Little Spark Films. Say hi, guys.
I'm here. Monco's here. Catalina's occupied. She'll be occupied.
You got it.
She'll be occupied for a little bit.
Oh,
so
okay.
We got Joe.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we got Joe Manco, Little Spark Films. So what's up, man? What have you been up to?
I've been chilling, been stressing, been working, doing a whole bunch of cool stuff, promoting the film before we even have it finished.
Yeah, you guys are still funding it on Indiegogo, and I got to see Paul Taylor yesterday at Chandler here in Arizona, and we recorded a little clip to help promote the movie on Indiegogo, so that's probably going to go up in a blog post around the time when this is coming out. And how's the post-production going?
And when we talk about the film, we're talking about The Torturer, the adaptation of Paul Kane's short story.
Yeah, it's going really well. We've hit a lot of hiccups. That was just because what happened is our first campaign and we had a fundraiser party and everything. We raised a good handful of change. I want to say about a quarter of the budget, maybe about half of what we needed. And a lot of good fortune came our way, which ended up saving us a lot of money, but it was kind of a do or die situation when we started shooting. It was now or never. Like, if we didn't shoot it now, we would have missed an opportunity. And so we hopped on it and we shot without having the full budget available, which the other half of the budget we were trying to raise before we started filming was for post-production. And now that we're past principal photography, it's like, well, we still need these post-production funds, so we're doing this second round of we're doing the second campaign, we're just trucking forward, man. The trailer's looking great. We're supposed to screen it at Slash and Bash, and we're screening it with Fangoria magazine at a big event prior to a screening of Satanic Panic here in Dallas.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Awesome. So check out the review that we're going to put up after this. It's going to be with Paul T. Taylor and the Spooky Swirls inauguration here in Chandler. It's a gluten-free bakery. And I had a lot of fun, that Paul was there with like the suit that he used in Hellraiser Judgment. Well, he wasn't using the suit, but it was right behind him. And the HSPAA, I think. Let me just get that right. It's the HSPPA, the Horror and Sci-Fi Prop Preservation Association, was putting on a semi-permanent exhibit there. So I think the thing is they're going to be doing every 6 months, they're going to rotate some props at the store at Spooky Swirls. And from what Paul told me, it's going to be every 6 months they're going to bring in new stuff. And it's a huge collection. I mean, you got makeup from Tusk, you got Gizmo from Gremlins 2. You got an alien head. You got all sorts of outfits from movies. Robin Williams' suit from What Dreams May Come. All sorts of cool stuff in there, man. It's like Freddy Krueger makeup from Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I'm going to put lots of photos in the article, and it's really amazing. So it's a gluten-free bakery in Chandler, Arizona. It's called Spooky Swirls, and yeah, check it out.
And we kind of jumped into this a little bit without explaining, but Paul T. Taylor, of course, is the actor who played Pinhead in Hellraiser Judgment, and he is also he was there at the bakery. That's who you ran into, and then he is also the star of The Torturer.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
He's one of the stars. He is our main subject. Lawrence also does a great job, man, because it's only the two actors, really. I mean, we have other cast that shows up in various parts of the film, but I mean, it really hinges on the Torture and Paul's character, Andy Brooks. And we're watching them, I want to say 95% of the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because the torturer is not giving anything away, but the torturer is not Paul T. Taylor. He's actually the torturee in
Right.
most of the scenes. Yeah, so cool.
So
it's going to be brutal.
So you had the first time around was an Indiegogo. Is this second fundraiser? Is it Indiegogo or is it just like? Because I thought I saw a PayPal link also.
No, it's Indiegogo.
It's
Indiegogo. For a while, after the first campaign ended, we went the rest of the summer with planning and preparation, and we were getting ready for a big fundraiser party, which had the band Manifestive there, Secret of Boris was there, the Marquis of Vaudeville, Nosferatu, this band Trinidad. It was their debut show, and we had 5 performers from Deadly Sins Burlesque and Sideshow there, and the Corpse Paint Show was emceeing, and the place was packed. But we set up a PayPal for anyone who cared to donate, while things were still going on, while people were following what we were up to, and all the way up until we shot it. Honestly, I kind of forgot about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really too focused on that. I wasn't even keeping the website updated really, because all I was mainly focusing on was post production. Because we're like a skeleton crew. I mean, Catalina and I do all like 90% of the planning and all the artwork and editing and all that stuff, and then we have our other crew members who focus on just the IT side of Little Spark Films and our networks and whatnot. Except I put the websites together. I guess, I don't know, everyone's got a lot of jobs. We all wear like a bunch of hats, and I want to say there's about 6 of us.
Yeah. So the Indiegogo for post-production is at indiegogo.com/projects/the-torture-post-production. So we'll put a link to the show notes there for you guys who are listening to this to go there and support the post-production of The Torture. And once again, it's going to be brutal soon. And we got Lawrence. When you said Lawrence, it's Lawrence Varnado, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So Lawrence Varnado, Paul T. Taylor. We got Richard Houghton, Ross Hudspeth.
Rod Hudspeth.
Yeah, and Lance Parker. So those are some of the main characters in the short, right? The movie.
Yeah, that's the cast. That's the cast. The primary cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the screening with Satanic Panic is going to be in September?
It's actually Friday, September 13th.
Yeah, cool.
It's going to be at Gas Monkey Live in downtown Dallas, and it's gonna be a sick show.
That's nice. And what's this Satanic Panic? I haven't heard of it. Is it going to be a movie?
Yeah, Satanic Panic is a movie that was shot here in Dallas. That's been produced by Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
Wow.
Rebecca Romaine. She's not married to John
Stamos. Yeah, Uncle Jesse.
I want to say Chris. He was in Sliders. Jerry O'Connell. That was his name.
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. Gotcha.
All right, yeah. Jerry O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell and Rebecca Romaine produced this movie. here in Dallas. It's I want to say it's about a satanic cult. It's supposed to be a horror comedy, and it's been put on by by Fangoria and Cinestate here in town. And
Interesting.
it's supposed to be a horror comedy about, I guess, satanic cults. I haven't watched anything. I've seen some still shots that they sent me, but I haven't really been trying to dig deep into the story because I heard it's really good, and it's a first time female director here in town, and so I'm pretty pumped to see it.
Yeah,
cool.
Rebecca Roman. She was the original Mystique in the X-Men movies, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. So it says here, Sam's first day as a pizza delivery driver is not going according to plan. At the end of a long day and not enough tips, her last delivery turns out to be for a group of Satanists looking for someone to sacrifice. So I guess that's going to be pretty interesting to watch this as well. Wow. So yeah, September 13. Go check it out. You'll be able to see the trailer for The Torture, and it's a Fangoria event. So that's always cool to support Fangoria.
And
it's a Fangorian corpse paint show. They're throwing it together.
Oh wow. Well, and speaking of Dallas, of course, we met you guys for the first time in person, and we made a video together at Texas Frightmare weekend.
That was so fun.
And we had a little bit of news about Texas Frightmare weekend. Clive Barker is coming back for the 2020 Texas Frightmare weekend, which I heard they're already sold out of VIP tickets, and the hotel is already booked up.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's like 9 months away.
It happened I heard it happened in 20 minutes.
Oh my God. It sounds like they need a bigger venue then, huh?
We're going to need a bigger boat.
I don't know where they would go.
So, they're celebrating 15 years as the premier horror convention in the Southwest, and Arrow Video is sponsoring this as well. So it's going to be Dallas, Texas on May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of 2020. If the world doesn't end until then, that'd be a cool thing to do. If let's see if we get a chance to go there and check it out, huh, Ryan? What do you say?
Oh my God. Yeah. That would be nice. I don't know that we could pull that off again.
Yeah.
Man, I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah. I know. It would be great. Yeah.
As soon as this was announced, immediately started getting pings on my phone, people sending messages saying, "Are you guys going to be there? Did you know that Clive Barker is coming to Texas? Are you guys going to be there?" I was like, well, I'm just finding out about this. Let's brainstorm." And then Ryan, you were like, "Oh, VIP tickets are already all sold out, and all the hotels are sold out," and it's like, "Oh no." Wow, this is crazy. Congrats to Lloyd Cryer for organizing all this stuff, because the logistics of this has to be insane with all these people coming in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I was booking my room trying to book my room 20 minutes before the startup time was, which I think was 1 p.m.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it was actually very easy to get a room if you were just watching the clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and last time, which was 2017, I think, right? Yeah. Last time we went, we couldn't make any arrangements until we'd already finished our fundraiser, which was November, I think, or January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was January. We finished our fundraiser, and we had the money for it, and then we started booking our, where we were going to stay, and we had press tickets for the four of us, which they don't allow that anymore. If you're in one group, they allow you to have one press ticket now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I mean, we got grandfathered in on that kind of behavior, but I guess now they're just kind of limiting it a little bit.
Yeah.
But hey, the kicker for Clive Barker being at Texas Frightmare weekend is that not just Clive's going to be there, but Virginia Madsen and Tony Todd from Candyman are going to be there for a special Candyman celebration. So for all you Candyman fans out there, holy crap, right?
And I would bet probably the Hellraiser cast. Because they kind of usually travel together, they go to these things. at the same time. But that's also up to Texas Frightmare weekend, right? Because they have limited space available and they have to plan for a lot of guests.
Yeah, I guess that's hopeful thinking, but we'll see what the guest list evolves as they announce more people. But I've seen Tony Todd come to a lot of conventions lately, and sometimes he actually dresses up like Candyman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the whole the jacket and the hook, and he's got like the torso with all the guts showing and stuff.
Yeah.
And all right, that seems like a very interesting event to go to because I've never met Tony Todd. Have you guys met Tony Todd?
I did.
Yeah, I have.
I was working a convention. I want to say in San Antonio, and Tony Todd was there, and he was hanging out a lot with Eric Estrada, and they walked by. I was there, and Tony Todd stopped at me, and he really liked my white hat.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
cool.
This woman I met, she had a Michael Dorn action figure.
Uh-huh.
Worf from Star Trek Generation.
Yeah.
And he had already left for the day. And so she was determined to get it autographed. So she went and got Tony Todd to autograph it. And he looked at her and was like, this is not me. Right?
Oh, shit.
And she was white. She was an old white lady.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. She was only 50. White lady. And, I mean, she
was weird.
Total, yeah, I know. It wasn't PC at all.
No, God.
No.
He also signed it, and she came back to me. She's like, "Hey, what do you think? You think anyone will buy this from me?" I'm like, "No, you just totally devalued the fuck out of that toy."
I know. Like you someone else.
Yeah.
It's like me grabbing a Clive Barker book and asking Stephen King to sign it, although probably it would still be worth something because it's Stephen King. But what a weird thing to do, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the comic book guy on The Simpsons. That is a signed picture of Sean Connery signed by Roger Moore.
That's funny, man. That is funny. So, those are the news. And, we also talked a little bit about the Spooky Swirls opening, which was really fun. They had some interesting cakes over there. I didn't mention this yet, but it's like they had an auditor cupcake. So the auditor was the character played by Gary Tunnicliffe in Hellraiser Judgment. And he's the guy with the round black sunglasses and all the cut up face and all that. But holy moly, that was amazing. Like they had these little auditor cupcakes, which had little chocolate, glasses on them. And that was so cool to see that. I sent a picture to Paul yesterday on message. And I said, hey, you should show this to Gary. I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. And he's like, yeah. They had pinballs, which it might sound weird. They didn't call them pinhead balls. They called them pin balls. And they were made out of chocolate. And they had some sort of like cherry mousse on the inside. And it was amazing. So they were like these little balls, and they had like the squared off ridges. And they had these little metallic looking glass pins, not glass, what am I saying? Sugar pins on them. And the thing was, it was so hot here in Phoenix that I bought them and they looked great. But then I put them in my car and I drove home and I put them in my fridge. And even though Spooky Swirls is just a little bit up the street, the drive home later after dinner, I opened up my package to get my treats, and it had actually like completely deflated and melted into a little chocolate puddle. But it was still good. It was still good. It was still delicious, and they had all sorts of like horror themed cupcakes and treats. I think Sarah, my wife, got these vampire fang cupcakes that had like little fangs and little bits of strawberry like coming out of it, and it was so cool. I mean, it's like a horror prop museum in there. So I really recommend going to that place. If you live in Arizona, if you live in the Phoenix area, go check out Spooky Swirls. They had people outside helping out everybody who was in line for like an hour, and they were offering bottles of water, and they were all dressed like Ghostbusters. So I call them the Thirst Busters. And there was there was a poor bastard who was actually Spooky, the mascot, and he was wearing a gigantic white ghost a cutesy ghost like Casper the Ghost outfit. And it was just so hot. I can't imagine how he must have felt inside a big, fleece ghost costume in like freaking 95-degree weather or 100-degree weather. It was nuts. But anyway, so that was pretty fun. And I got to tell some people about the Clive Barker podcast, which is always
awesome.
A good thing. Yeah. So that's the news, huh?
No, we had one more still. There is a Hellraiser and Candyman double feature screening in Manchester, UK.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it's going to be Friday, November 1st at 5:30 in the afternoon. And it's going to be Halloween horror movie night. Clive Barker double bill at number 70, Manchester, United Kingdom. And this year, the Gothic Manchester Festival have joined forces with Grimfest, Manchester's Festival of Fantastic Film, to bring you the ultimate Halloween movie double bill. On the evening of Friday the 1st, November 2019, they're going to do a night dedicated to the work of Clive Barker. And I think they're going to have a little bit of an introduction to Barker's work with a quick lecture from Dr. Xavier Aldana Reyes. He is reader in English literature and film, and he's a founder member of the Manchester Center for Gothic Studies at Manchester Met. So they're going to be playing that and Candyman. The Hellraiser and Candyman, right?
Yeah. That'd be a pretty cool double feature.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Jordan Peele is producing the remake for Candyman, so there's still no news about that, but I'm interested in seeing that one too.
Yeah. And so, and then coming up next, we're going to be doing, for our next episode, we'll be doing a commentary on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's right. And you guys are going to be in with us, right, Joe?
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah. I also forgot to mention, over at Spookies, they also had these cupcakes with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So the little cupcakes had the little head of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with a sailor hat. And there was also a Carrie cupcakes where there were vanilla bean cupcakes filled with strawberry jam and topped with strawberry buttercream, and a tiara from, of course, winning the prom queen tiara. So these things are amazing, man. If you ever come to Chandler, you got to check out Spooky Swirls. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just that concept is crazy to me because we're such a small town. I can't imagine a horror-themed bakery.
Yeah, that's the owners were there and they were really cool. Lily and I think James. Man, I don't want to get their names wrong, but yeah, so really cool. Got to see Paul Taylor. He signed a little print that they had there for every purchase over $10. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I was a little overheated, so it was too many people in line, man. I tell you, I ended up having to go next door to a Z Records and just cooling off for a bit. And I grabbed a few VHSs and yeah, so that was interesting. That was the news episode.
All right. Well, in this podcast having no beginning will have no end. You can find the show notes for this episode and join the discussion over at www.clivebarkercast.com, where we have news, features, reviews, and links to all the ways you can connect with us. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts and every other place you can find podcasts. Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and news blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans.
Thanks for listening.